You thought it was just your mind. You thought it was just stress, but it's not. Your body is speaking, and what it's saying is spiritual. The headache that comes out of nowhere, the heaviness when you walk into certain places, the random tension in your chest or the chills down your back when nothing's around. These aren't coincidences. They're signals, and your body is translating messages your spirit already knows. This isn't a random tiredness, it's a divine preparation. Because when the invisible war intensifies, the body of a chosen one begins to feel what others can't sense. You're not sick, you're not broken, you're awakening. And on August 8th, your body will confirm what your soul has been whispering all along. Get ready. This is not just a shift. It's a mission your entire being has been assigned to fulfill. There is a kind of pain that doesn't bleed. It doesn't bruise. It doesn't show up in X-rays or scans. But it's real, more real than the wounds people can see. It's the ache of a spirit being stretched beyond the mind's understanding. It's the heaviness of carrying something divine in a world that calls it too much. It's the fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. Because it's not the body that's tired. It's the soul that's crossing dimensions before the rest of you catches up. You know this pain, even if you never had a name for it. It arrives silently, in the hours no one sees, in the mornings when you wake up already exhausted, in the quiet moments when everything is fine, but your chest feels tight, your shoulders feel like they're holding the weight of invisible things, and your heart aches for something you can't even explain. What if I told you that your body is not malfunctioning? It's awakening. What if that pain in your back, that pressure in your head, that twist in your stomach isn't about illness, but alignment? This is the pain of spiritual labor, when the old energy can't stay, and the new hasn't fully arrived, when you're no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. The chosen ones feel it first. Before the world changes, before people see anything new in you, your body receives the announcement in silence. It becomes the battlefield of divine transition. You're not going crazy. You're not falling apart. You're not being punished. You're being spiritually refined, cell by cell, breath by breath. God is speaking through your nervous system, through the ache behind your eyes, through the pain that rises in sacred places when you walk into rooms that don't honor your presence anymore. Because when you're out of alignment with your assignment, your body will react before your mind admits it. And when you're about to step into something bigger, your body will cleanse itself of everything that no longer matches your next level. This is why you feel heavier around certain people, why you get drained in certain places, why you crave solitude even when nothing seems wrong. It's not depression. It's preparation. And that pain? It's not just an alert, it's a portal, a doorway your soul is walking through and your body is trying to follow. But it's not easy. The old energy resists. The mind questions. The body aches because the frequency of your life is changing, and the physical vessel must adapt. That's why the pain doesn't have a name, because it isn't coming from the flesh. It's coming from the field. The field around you is shifting, and so is your inner one. If you've been hurting, feeling out of place in your own body, feeling things you can't explain, know this. You're not alone. You're not making it up. You are being purified through vibration. You are becoming a living temple. And this temple is expanding, not for comfort, but for calling. Don't rush to silence this pain. Don't numb it. Sit with it. Ask it what it knows. Ask it what it's here to teach you. Because this isn't weakness, it's prophecy, written in your very skin. And those who listen, those who honor the ache without fear, will be the ones to lead others through the fire. When the invisible war becomes visible, this pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. And you're being prepared to carry something holy. Let it shape you. Let it refine you. Let it make you new. Before the supernatural touches your timeline, your body already knows. Before the door opens in the physical, Your cells start vibrating differently. Before anything changes around you, everything changes within you. The chosen ones don't just feel more for no reason. They are designed to be sensitive to shifts that haven't yet manifested. And this sensitivity isn't a burden. It's a spiritual radar, a holy gift that allows you to walk by faith, not just by sight. But make no mistake, this sensitivity often feels like chaos before it feels like clarity. You'll wake up one day and your body just knows. It doesn't want to eat what it used to. It doesn't want to speak to who it used to. It doesn't even want to walk the same path or be in the same room. Your physical body, this sacred vessel, begins reacting before your mind has caught up. And most people ignore it. They dismiss the body's messages as random mood swings or stress. But not you, because you're starting to see the pattern now, aren't you? Every time something life-changing was about to happen, you felt it in your body first. You suddenly needed more rest. You became more irritable in places that once felt safe. Your skin got more sensitive, your eyes started tearing without any trigger, and your stomach felt unsettled even though you weren't sick. These are not coincidences. These are not just physical symptoms. They are the whisper of the supernatural, trying to move through the density of the material world. Your body is a gate, and when something holy is approaching, your gate gets activated. This is why you're suddenly drawn to water, why you crave silence, why you're more sensitive to sound, to light, to movement. It's your system preparing for an encounter that cannot be explained, only felt. The supernatural doesn't arrive with loud noise. It arrives with subtle pressure. Your bones remember something before your brain understands it. Your breath slows before your words catch the message. Your spine tingles before your life shifts. And that's what's happening this week. This is not just a season. It's a prelude, a divine preparation of your physical vessel to receive something your spirit already said yes to. You may feel exhausted. Don't fight it. You're being pulled into deeper spiritual rest, so you can stand when the wave of purpose crashes over you. You may feel disconnected from people you love. Don't panic. The divine is pulling you inward, so your alignment is no longer dependent on emotional attachments. You may feel emotional without any reason. That's not instability. That's your frequency being softened for divine calibration. Let it happen. Let the tears come without explanation. Let your body ache in unfamiliar ways. Let yourself feel what the world tells you to numb. Because what's coming is not logical, it's sacred. And your body is the only place where the sacred must first land. If you've been yawning too much, shivering in the heat, or sweating in the cold, if your ears are ringing, your hands are buzzing, your skin feels electric, pay attention. These are activation signs. Your body is being touched by something you cannot yet see. But your future already feels it. Some of you have been waking up between 3 and 5 a.m. Some of you are dreaming vividly about symbols you don't understand. Some of you feel pressure in your chest, as if something is pushing you to breathe slower, deeper, as if something holy is about to enter. And it is. Because God never sends a spiritual encounter without first adjusting the body that will receive it. You don't need to understand it right away. You just need to honor it, to stay soft enough to notice, and grounded enough to hold it. So if your body is acting strange, if your energy is shifting, if nothing makes sense but everything feels important, stop questioning. Start listening. The divine is not delayed, it's arriving, and it's choosing to pass through you. Why certain places leave you drained? Some places take from you, not because they want to, but because they were never meant to hold someone like you. Some rooms were built on frequencies of fear, control, or apathy. And when a soul like yours walks in, a soul that carries light, vision, and silent authority, the room doesn't know what to do with it. So it pulls. It drains. It tries to shrink you without even speaking. Have you noticed how your body changes when you step into certain places? Your shoulders tighten. Your breath shortens. You feel pressure in your chest or behind your eyes. You become hyper-aware of everything around you, even if you're not fully conscious of what's wrong. This isn't paranoia. It's spiritual awareness. You're not just walking into a building, you're walking into a field. And that field carries residue, memories, unspoken energy. Things people have left behind with their words, thoughts, pain, or silence. And if you're chosen, you feel all of it. You've probably asked yourself, why am I exhausted after spending time in that place? Or, why do I feel drained even though nothing happened? Because something did happen. You entered a frequency that wasn't ready for yours. You walked into a church, a hospital, an old friend's house, or even your workplace. And instead of the space feeding you, you became the light source that kept the energy from collapsing. You stabilized the room without knowing it. And that takes energy. But here's the part no one tells you. Not every place deserves your stabilizing power. Not every room needs to be rescued. Not every person should receive what your presence carries. Because what drains you most is overgiving in places God never asked you to stay. You're not meant to be the light in every dark corner. You're meant to follow the inner signal that tells you, this place isn't sacred ground for you anymore. So when your body speaks, listen. When your chest tightens as you walk through a doorway, when your energy drops while sitting at someone's table, when your intuition goes silent in a room full of noise, pay attention. You don't need dramatic reasons. You don't need evidence to leave. You only need alignment. If the land doesn't recognize your mission, don't plant seeds there. If the room doesn't rise when you enter, don't shrink to make it comfortable. You were never meant to be tolerated. You were meant to be sent. And sometimes being sent means being sensitive enough to walk away. Certain places will leave you drained because they no longer match the energy of who you've become. You've outgrown environments that once felt like home. Not because you're better, but because your calling is different now. And where you're going, you won't need to carry the weight of rooms that never welcomed your essence. So let this be your permission. You don't have to stay where your light is only used, not honored. You don't have to explain why certain spaces feel heavier now. You don't have to keep showing up where God already left. There's nothing noble in draining yourself to prove you're good. Your discernment is your guide, and your body is the first messenger. Honor it. Protect it. Let your presence be sacred again. Not common, not expected, not absorbed without care. Because you, chosen one, are not here to be consumed. You're here to transmit when aligned, and withdraw when led. If a place leaves you empty, it's not your home anymore. Move with grace, but move without guilt. The divine doesn't keep you where your frequency keeps dying. The divine keeps calling you to the places where your energy creates life. Why you're more sensitive to people and places this week? Something shifted this week, and even if you can't name it, you feel it. You're not just imagining things. You're not just in your head. Your body, your spirit, your heart, they are all reacting to something real in the invisible. Suddenly, people's words affect you more. Even the tone behind their silence carries weight. You walk into a room and can instantly tell if there's been an argument, a secret, or a sadness lingering in the air. You pass by someone on the street, and their eyes feel like they're telling you a story you were never meant to carry. You try to rest, but you feel the pulse of something bigger than you, moving all around you. This is not emotional instability. This is spiritual intelligence. Chosen ones are not meant to be numb to the shift. They are wired to detect it before the world understands it. And this week, that detection is amplified, because the field around Earth is thinner, the veil is lighter. Your inner system is being recalibrated to recognize not just energy, but intention. And with that comes sensitivity. You feel people's projections even when they smile. You sense their hidden fear even when they joke. You feel tired after spending 5 minutes in a room where no one said a word. But the energy was screaming. You're not crazy. You're awake. Your sensitivity this week is not weakness. It's an activation. God is preparing you for something deeper. But in order to carry it, your discernment needs to be sharper. Your filter needs to be stronger. Your field needs to be more aware of what enters it and what doesn't belong anymore. This is why you're suddenly more sensitive to noise, to light, to sudden changes in people's moods. This is why you can't watch the same things you used to, or listen to conversations that used to entertain you. The old frequencies now feel like poison, not because they changed, but because you did. You're entering a new level of spiritual responsibility. And part of that means knowing when to step back, when to breathe deeper, when to leave early, when to not answer that message, when to say no without guilt. Sensitivity isn't about being overwhelmed. It's about being attuned. Attuned to God's whisper before He speaks. Attuned to the emotional vibrations of a place before the event even begins. Attuned to your own boundaries before they get crossed again. So don't ignore this sacred sensitivity. Don't numb it. Don't apologize for it. It's telling you who is safe and who is not. It's showing you what spaces support your light and what spaces demand that you dim it. Some of you are learning this the hard way right now. You gave someone your time and now you feel heavier. You entered a place full of distractions and now you can't focus. You opened your heart to the wrong energy and now your body feels drained. But this is how you learn. This is how you strengthen the muscle of discernment. Not by hiding, but by noticing. Sensitivity doesn't mean retreating from the world. It means walking through it with wisdom, with awareness, with holy boundaries that preserve your essence. You are not becoming too sensitive. You are becoming spiritually precise. And this week, more than ever, that precision is needed, because something new is coming, and you can't enter it carrying residue from energies that aren't yours. This is why your soul is saying, enough. To the noise, to the confusion, to the weight of people and places that once fit, but now feel foreign. You're being tuned, sharpened, refined. So when the moment comes, when the divine instruction whispers through your spirit, you won't miss it. You won't second-guess it. You'll recognize it instantly, because you've been feeling it all along. So let your sensitivity speak. Let it guide your next steps. Let it show you who to forgive, what to release, where to stand still, and when to move without explanation. You're not falling apart. You're being aligned. Let the noise leave. Let the sensitivity rise. You were never meant to be numb. You were meant to feel, so you can lead. How to protect your body during spiritual warfare. Your body is not just flesh. It's not just skin, bones, and blood. It's the armor, the vessel, the temple. And in spiritual warfare, it's the first place that gets hit, because the enemy can't stop your spirit. But he'll try to weaken the vehicle that carries it. You've felt it before, haven't you? Suddenly tired for no reason. A heavy fog in your mind. Muscle tension without physical effort. A stomach that tightens when you walk into the wrong room. Back pain that shows up after an intense prayer. A sleepless night after you spoke truth with boldness. These are not random. These are signs. Spiritual warfare doesn't always come through obvious attacks. Sometimes it slips in through open doors. The music you listened to without discernment, the conversation that sounded harmless but stirred confusion, the food that numbed you instead of fueling you, the presence of people who smiled, but carried a frequency of depletion. Your body speaks before your mind understands. It contracts, it resists, it warns. And if you're a chosen one, if your mission requires clarity, stamina, and presence, you can't afford to ignore what your body is telling you. So how do you protect it? You start by listening. When you feel drained after being around someone, don't explain it away. That was a transfer of energy. When your skin breaks out or your stomach hurts after someone touches you, don't dismiss it. That was your field rejecting an intrusion. When you wake up sore after a vivid spiritual dream, don't think it's just a bad mattress. You were fighting in realms your conscious mind doesn't remember. Protection starts with awareness. You must treat your body like sacred ground, like the temple it is. Not a battlefield where the enemy is free to roam, but a sanctuary where heaven has authority. That means speak life over your body every morning. Not just affirmations, but declarations. Bless your organs, bless your skin. Declare that no energy, no word, no intention that is not from God has permission to stay. Be mindful of what you consume. Not everything edible is nourishment. Not everything entertaining is harmless. Spiritual warfare often rides in through small, normal things. Clean your space, yes, physically, but also energetically. Open windows. Anoint your doorposts. Pray out loud in your room. Speak to the atmosphere. Don't let your house become spiritually lazy ground. Guard your sleep. Before bed, pray. Place your hand over your heart or your head. Ask God to seal your dreams, to stand at the gates of your rest. You're most vulnerable when you're not conscious, so protect your unconscious hours like you would guard your front door. Rest when your body asks. Some attacks come when you're tired because that's when your spiritual walls are weakest. If your body says, stop, listen. Sometimes retreat is divine strategy. Be selective with touch. Not every hug is innocent. Not every handshake is pure. Some people pass heaviness through physical contact. It doesn't mean you become afraid, but it does mean you stay aware. And most importantly, don't use your body as a shield. Use it as a conduit. Your job is not to absorb darkness. Your job is to transmit light. The moment you begin taking on battles that aren't yours, carrying weight that heaven didn't assign, you become the target of exhaustion. There is a way to walk through fire and not be burned, but only if you walk with alignment. Ask yourself, is my body reacting because I'm in the wrong place? Am I trying to carry what God asked me to release? Is this fatigue spiritual, not physical? Am I trying to protect others while I'm unprotected? The spiritual realm respects authority, but it also detects carelessness. So take care of your vessel, not with fear, but with reverence. The more you honor your physical body, the more sensitive your spirit becomes. And when the war intensifies, as it will, you'll walk through it knowing you are not defenseless. You are covered, chosen, anointed, and your body will not break under the weight of a battle you were born to win. You've been treating your body like an obstacle, when in truth it's always been your companion in the mission. You've misunderstood the fatigue, the aches, the restlessness. But your body wasn't betraying you. It was warning you, speaking to you, walking ahead of you to absorb what your spirit was still processing. The chosen don't just receive spiritual visions. They carry vibrational instructions that affect their cells, their nerves, their muscles. Every revelation your soul receives must pass through the temple of your body before it becomes grounded in your life. And that's why it hurts sometimes. That's why you feel everything more intensely than others. Because your body isn't separate from the calling. It is the bridge between heaven's whisper and earth's manifestation. There are moments you've woken up heavy, before anything around you changed. You thought it was depression, but what if it was preparation? What if your body was calibrating before the storm even began? You've felt random chills when standing in silence. That wasn't fear. That was your energy recognizing truth before your mind caught up. You've cried without a reason, and still you apologized for being too sensitive. But your tears weren't weakness. They were spiritual memory. Your body remembering something your mind forgot. This is the part no one teaches the chosen. That before you fulfill your purpose with your hands, your blood will recognize the mission. Your bones will feel the shift. Your skin will reject what's no longer aligned. Your gut will whisper truths that haven't yet been spoken. The battlefield is real, but you don't fight it with willpower alone. You fight it with embodied alignment. And the only way to reach that level of alignment is to trust that your body has never been the enemy. It's been the messenger, the translator, the echo of everything your soul is learning in silence. So here's what you need to remember now, especially in this season. When you suddenly get tired in certain rooms, you're not lazy. You're being drained by something that doesn't belong to you. When you feel sharp pain after making a decision, you're not broken. You're being warned that your path just veered off purpose. When you lose your appetite around someone, you're not rude. Your body is protecting you from digesting energy you weren't meant to hold. When your heart races in stillness, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something is waking up. Your body has always been loyal, even when you ignored it. Even when you cursed it for being too much. Even when you numbed it because it felt safer not to feel. But now the time has come. The mission is too sacred. The attacks too subtle. The timeline too precise. You can no longer afford to walk separated from your physical self. Your spirit is not floating above your body. Your spirit is trying to return into it. That's what embodiment really means. Not performing rituals, not repeating affirmations with no resonance, but returning home to the place where your soul and body speak the same language again. So bless your body. Forgive it for the ways you didn't understand it before, and begin to listen with reverence. You'll feel resistance at first, because your nervous system doesn't yet trust silence. But the more you honor your temple, the more clearly the divine will move through it. This is the next level of protection. This is the next level of war. This is the next level of love. Because heaven doesn't just descend on a soul, it descends into a life, a body, a vessel that's ready. And yours is ready. You are not just a spiritual being, you are a full embodiment of heaven's answer on earth. And your body is on the mission with you.